Welcome back to Klepper's Corner, the only news show brave enough to stare into the apocalypse and say, hey, can we get better lighting? I'm your host, Jordan Klepper, your tour guide through the swirling maelstrom of politics, power, and the occasional python loose on a plane. Today is July 2nd, 2025, and you better buckle up because this news cycle is less of a merry-go-round and more of a tilt-a-whirl on fire. From Trump's one big beautiful bill, a policy so big, bloated, and terrifying it should probably be running for Senate itself, to Iran's nuclear program doing its best impression of a magician's hat trick, to Gaza, where ceasefire apparently means fire, then cease, then fire again. The world is in rare form. And we haven't even touched on Elon Musk starting a political party just to annoy Trump, or the fact that Americans trust the Weather Channel more than Congress, their in-laws, or probably even their own therapists. So grab your emotional support ferret, your gold bar backup savings, and whatever's left of your optimism. Because this is Klepper's Corner. Segment 1. One big beautiful bill and one big beautiful mess. Today in the news, the Senate just passed President Trump's latest Frankenstein monster of domestic policy, the one big beautiful bill. That's right, folks. The bill's so massive, so all-encompassing, it needed its own zip code. This thing is $3 trillion of pure, uncut political Red Bull. It's got Medicaid cuts, ACA rollbacks, work requirements, and more tax breaks for the people who think caviar is a side dish. This bill promises to cut over $1 trillion in healthcare programs and replace it with what Republicans are calling freedom and what doctors are calling mass panic. If you liked healthcare, well, tough. Unless you're rich, then you're fine. In fact, you're great. You're better than great. You get a complimentary foot massage from the CBO and a diamond-studded EpiPen. Trump claims the bill will eliminate taxes on Social Security. It doesn't. But then again, he also claimed the wall was finished, Mexico paid for it, and that time he played golf with Lincoln. Segment 2. Iran's Schrödinger nuclear program. Iran is now playing the international version of Guess Who with its nuclear program. President Pezeshkian has suspended cooperation with the IAEA, but didn't say when, how, or why. It's like breaking up with your girlfriend by ghosting her while leaving a love letter on her doorstep, written in invisible ink. Meanwhile, reports say Iran may be laying naval mines in the Strait of Hormuz, because nothing says deterrence like playing Minesweeper in real life. And if that wasn't enough, Iran was accused of spying on Jewish targets in Berlin, arrested a Danish national, and faked the death of Rear Admiral Shamkhani before wheeling him out at a funeral like Weekend at Ayatollah's. But Tehran is still open to talks with the U.S. Just not this week. Maybe after brunch, maybe after they refuel the subs. We'll pencil it in. Segment 3, Gaza ceasefire. Just kidding. Trump said Israel agreed to a ceasefire. Meanwhile, over 43 Palestinians were killed in Gaza yesterday. Most of them were in tents. You know, the universal symbol for not a military target. Over 600 people have died seeking food at GHF-operated aid sites in just 5 weeks. That's not humanitarian aid. That's a cruel game show called Survive the Line. Israel's justice minister is calling this a historic opportunity to seize the West Bank, which is a little like saying, hey, the house is on fire, let's remodel the kitchen. Meanwhile, Israeli officials want new sanctions on Iran because the Middle East clearly needed more gasoline and fewer extinguishers. Segment 4, Ukraine gets ghosted. The U.S. just paused missile shipments to Ukraine, citing low reserves. That's right, the world's top military power ran out of missiles like your uncle runs out of patience during Thanksgiving dinner debates. But don't worry, Putin and Macron had a very substantial phone call. Macron wanted a ceasefire, Putin wanted to talk about Iran. Because when the house is on fire, why not argue about the neighbor's lawn? Oh, and the UK and Germany are signing a treaty to defend each other. Cute, like two kids saying, if a bully hits me, you punch them. Segment 5, Alligator Alcatraz and the deportation disco. Trump visited a new migrant detention center in Florida, joking about escapees being eaten by alligators. That wasn't a joke. That was a tourism pitch. He also reversed a plan to classify immigrants as dead in the Social Security database. You know, because it turns out telling someone they're legally deceased is not a good deportation strategy. Who knew? Meanwhile, lawsuits are flying over Medicaid data sharing, Obamacare enrollment restrictions, and denying Haitians humanitarian protections. The courts have become the nation's most reliable emergency brake. Also, Kristi Noem is investigating whether CNN can be prosecuted for reporting on an ICE alert app. This administration isn't just governing. It's doing an improv show based on the theme, fascist, but make it legal. Segment 6, economy says, we're good. Despite all this, the stock market is up. Why? Because tech stocks like Nvidia and Microsoft are holding the whole system together like duct tape on a collapsing hot tub. Gold's up too, because nothing says confidence like investing in shiny apocalypse beads. Meanwhile, Tesla stock dropped 5.3% after Musk proposed starting a political party to oppose Republicans. Trump responded by threatening to deport him. You know, just two billionaires with nuclear egos having a slap fight while the economy watches from the bleachers. Segment 7, smartphones shut down in schools. New York is banning smartphones in schools from bell to bell. That's right, no TikTok, no texting, no snapping. It's 2025 and kids are now living like it's 1995. Governor Hochul launched a distraction-free schools website. $13.5 million will go toward phone lockers, distraction prevention, and probably a few angry teen YouTubers who think this is the end of democracy. You know it's bad when we have to invent new ways to stop kids from inventing new ways to look at memes during algebra. Segment 8, from Dirty Myrtle to Senior Paradise. Myrtle Beach, once known as Dirty Myrtle, is now the fastest growing city for seniors. Yep. It's gone from spring break shots to early bird specials in record time. Real estate ads now feature phrases like great proximity to Cracker Barrel and only 2 miles from cardiology. Expect to see more hover-round pileups at the boardwalk and half-price buffet stampedes. It's Florida 2.0. Just as tan, slightly less Florida man. Segment 9. Random Chaos American Edition. A snake on a plane delayed a flight in Australia. Samuel L. Jackson was unavailable for comment. California had a fireworks warehouse explode in Esparto because apparently we needed a real-life Michael Bay movie. Meanwhile, the U.S. is breeding billions of flies to fight pests. We are now fighting insects with more insects. Somewhere, Jeff Goldblum is sweating. And finally, a man in Florida is set to be executed for murdering his family because his wife wanted a divorce. Because nothing says no one else can have you like the ultimate overreaction. Segment 10, media trust and mistrust. Who do Americans trust? Apparently not CNN or Fox. The most trusted news brand in America is the Weather Channel. That's right, storm warnings, trustworthy. Political coverage, flip a coin. The NYT leads online traffic, but trust, that went out with dial-up. MSNBC and Fox News are the Coke and Pepsi of biased info. Different flavors, same cavities. But when it comes to money, people trust Forbes and WSJ. Apparently, our last thread of national unity is mutual respect for dividend stocks. How uplifting. Conclusion. July 2nd, 2025 gave us everything. War, peace, policy, chaos, billionaires slapping each other with legislation, and kids detoxing from TikTok like it's heroin. And somehow, through it all, the economy winks, the markets dance, and Trump threatens to feed Elon Musk to a cartoon dog coin. This has been your dose of absurdity and anxiety. Tune in next time on Klepper's Corner, where the news makes sense until you listen too closely.